On July 8, 2014, the strangest thing happened at Bulgaria's Varna airport. A man named Lars Mittank was undergoing a clearance checkup at the doctor's clinic when all of a sudden he stood up and shouted, "I don't want to die here, I have to get out of here." He ran straight out into the hallway and outside onto the airport property. He kept running all the way until he reached a barbed wire fence. He climbed over it and vanished forever into the wooded area behind. Mittank was never seen again. What could possibly cause such unusual and erratic behavior? What really happened to Lars Mittank? Before Bulgaria trip. Lars Joachim Mittank was born on February 9, 1986 in Berlin, Germany. However, he spent his entire life in Itzehoe, Schleswig-Holstein, a town about 24 kilometers north of Hamburg. Lars was known for his jovial nature and sense of humor. He was the kind of person who would go out of his way to make others laugh, and was often the glue that held his group of friends together. He had a passion for soccer, particularly supporting the team Sportsverein Werder Bremen. During the day, Lars worked at the Wilhelmshaven power station, a power plant in a small coastal town in Lower Saxony, northwest Germany. He was described as a down-to-earth guy who was content with the simple joys of life. Lars was slim and athletic, standing at 5'9", with dark blonde hair and expressive brown eyes. He also had a scar on his left forearm. Lars had a close-knit family and a fulfilling personal life. He regularly visited his parents, especially after his father suffered a stroke. He would often assist at his parents' home after finishing his work at the power plant. Lars also had a loving girlfriend and a circle of close friends who appreciated his friendly and humorous nature. He seemed content with his simple life and enjoyed spending time with his family and friends. Trip and the incident in the summer of 2014. Lars Mittank and his group of friends had been planning to spend their vacation in a foreign country. The idea of going to Bulgaria, specifically to the Golden Sands Resort, was likely driven by the resort's reputation as a popular and affordable destination for European tourists. Golden Sands is often compared to Ibiza due to its vibrant nightlife, beautiful beaches, and cheap alcohol. The city where the resort was located was Varna, the third largest city in Bulgaria and the largest city on the Bulgarian Black Sea coast, offered them the perfect blend of relaxation and entertainment. Lars traveled with a group of 4 close friends, making them a total of 5. They chose Bulgaria for its attractive combination of sun, sand, and a lively party scene. The group booked their stay at the Viva Club Hotel, located within the Golden Sands Resort, approximately 17 kilometers north of downtown Varna. They arrived in Bulgaria on June 30, 2014, and planned on spending a week there, enjoying the resort's amenities and exploring the local area. During their stay, the friends spent their days partying, relaxing on the beach, and enjoying the local nightlife. The trip was intended to be a carefree holiday, and for the most part it seemed to be going well. However, things took a dramatic turn when Lars got into a fight at a local bar on July 6, 2014. The altercation occurred outside a nightclub where Lars and his friends encountered some local men who were supporters of a rival soccer team. This resulted in a heated discussion that led to a bar fight. During this, Lars suffered a ruptured eardrum and a possible concussion, which made it impossible for him to fly back to Germany with his friends. The doctor advised him to stay in Bulgaria for a few more days to recover. His friends offered to stay with him, but he assured them that he'd be perfectly okay. He told them he'd take a room in a cheaper hotel and fly out later. Before the fight, Lars's behavior was normal and in line with his friendly and humorous personality. However, after the injury, his behavior began to change significantly. His friends described him as relaxed and in a good mood when they left him, but this changed dramatically once he was alone. After his friends departed on July 7th, Lars checked into a cheaper hotel, the Hotel Calavana, which was closer to the airport. It was here that he started exhibiting strange and erratic behavior. He called his mother, Sandra, multiple times, whispering and acting strangely. He told her that people were trying to harm him and asked her to cancel his credit cards. He even told his mother that he was hiding from 4 men who were following him. Surveillance cameras captured him pacing the hallways, looking out windows, and hiding in the elevator. On July 8, 2014, Lars Mittank arrived at Varna Airport, intending to catch his flight back to Germany. His friends had already departed the day before, on July 7th, due to his insistence that they stick to their original travel plan, despite his injury. The security footage shows him entering the airport calmly with his luggage. Before boarding his flight, Lars visited the airport doctor, Dr. Kosta Kostov, to get a final checkup on his injuries. He had been advised not to fly due to his ruptured eardrum, but he hoped he would get the clearance to travel. During the consultation, Dr. Kostov described Lars's behavior as nervous and erratic. Despite the doctor's assurance that he was fit to travel, Lars expressed doubts about his medication and seemed hesitant to leave the office. This behavior was a continuation of the paranoid and fearful state he had been in since his friends left him. The situation took a turn for the worse when a construction worker entered the doctor's office. The airport was undergoing renovations at the time, and this unexpected presence seemed to trigger a severe reaction in Lars. He began to tremble and yelled, "I don't want to die here. I have to get out of here." In a state of panic, Lars got up and fled the doctor's office, leaving behind all his belongings, including his wallet, phone, and passport. This was a sudden and unexpected move that shocked the medical staff. Airport security footage captured Lars running out of the terminal, climbing a fence and sprinting towards a nearby forest near Bulgarian National Highway A2. The footage shows him disappearing into the forest, and it remains the last confirmed sighting of Lars Mittank. Despite extensive searches by Bulgarian authorities and private investigators hired by his family, no trace of Lars Mittank has ever been seen again since his disappearance. The case has captured the interest of people all over the world due to its popularity on social media and remains one of the most baffling unsolved mysteries in recent years. Planned runaway. It is theorized that Lars's unexplained behavior could be a carefully planned scheme because he wanted to run away and start a new life. However, this seems highly unlikely as he showed no signs of being displeased or unhappy with his current life. He enjoyed his hobbies and time with friends and family. Moreover, if he really did plan on running away, why would he do so in a foreign country where he is not well versed in the language and culture? Most people who run away usually take their belongings or some form of asset to support themselves. But Lars threw his belongings and ran away with no ID, money, or food. Side effects of antibiotics or drugs. Some people theorize that his erratic behavior could be the cause of the side effects of the antibiotics he was prescribed after his injury. However, this theory was debunked due to the fact that Lars never filed his prescription. Even if he did consume them, it is highly unlikely that such common antibiotics would cause him to act like so. This theory also speculates that he might have been under the influence of drugs. It is possible that he may have been experimenting with recreational drugs and consumed something that caused a bad reaction. But again, there were no drugs found in his luggage, and this theory also doesn't explain the fact why he wasn't ever seen again. Involvement in drug trafficking. Another theory speculates that Lars and his friends could be involved in some shady activity like drug trafficking. It is possible that they ran into some kind of trouble where they were unable to hold their end of the bargain, and the other party might have kept Lars as some kind of leverage. This would explain the paranoia and the fact that he thought he was being followed, and the reason he told his mother to cancel his debit cards. But again, like the other theories, this one also can't be supported by any evidence. And even if this were true, his friends would have come forward with some proof. There was an unconfirmed sighting of him 1 year later in Berlin. A trucker said that he picked up a barefooted guy who looked a lot like Lars, but there's no confirmation whether that man was actually Lars. Concussion-induced psychosis. Many people believe this theory to be the one that makes the most sense because Lars's behavior closely supports this theory. It is speculated that the fight resulted in him getting a concussion or a brain injury that might have triggered psychosis. Lars was extremely paranoid and had no grip on reality, which may suggest that he was experiencing full-blown psychosis. However, this theory is medically incorrect due to the fact that concussions do not immediately cause psychosis. It takes months and years for the earliest symptoms to manifest. But what if the mental problems were already there? Psychotic illness. The details of whatever happened to Lars might never be revealed, but we can decide on what seems to be the most plausible theory, which seems to be psychotic illness. Lars's symptoms reveal that he may be suffering from his first episode of psychosis. At least it's clear that he was not himself. Even though a concussion doesn't immediately cause a psychotic episode on its own, it can worsen pre-existing mental illness. He may have been suffering from schizophrenia, major depressive disorder, or bipolar disorder. A week of sun and alcohol may have pushed him closer to the edge, and maybe the concussion gave his brain the final push into a state of paranoia and psychosis. The symptoms may also have started earlier in the week without his friends noticing. Without any history of mental problems, it can be hard for anyone to notice, especially when you're on holiday and things are out of the ordinary in the first place. It could be a possibility that while suffering from this mental illness, he might have run deeper into the woods or a rural area. After that, there are only two possible theories to explain the fact why he was never seen again. Either he was hiding from people and died after injuring himself, or was simply unable to take care of himself. The only explanation left is that perhaps he is still in hiding and does not want to be found. Given his paranoid and erratic behavior, it is likely that he injured himself and succumbed to the elements. Lars's mother is still searching for her son, but we may never know what happened for sure. If you love our content and want to support the channel, feel free to check our web shop where you can find exclusive true crime merch brought to you by Bad Things.